In a world full of unforgettable faces like Michael Jackson, Elvis Presley, and Will Smith, it's fascinating how some celebrities have managed to maintain their iconic looks throughout the decades. However, the passage of time has not been so kind to all those in the spotlight. In fact, some famous people have undergone such remarkable transformations that they are almost unrecognizable today. From once beloved teen star Molly Ringwald to the startling metamorphosis of Halle Berry, here are 20 famous people you'd never recognize today. Number 20. Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe is a famous actor born in Wellington, New Zealand, known for his participation in many blockbuster movies. You could grate cheese on his abs, but if we compare his current look, we could say this guy really commits to the roles he takes on. He either gains weight or sheds it, depending on what he's working on. He lost 40 pounds for Gladiator, but people were shocked when they saw him in Unhinged. Instead of taking on roles that fit your standard body type, you either gain weight or burn it, all depending on what you're doing. For example, he had everyone drooling when he showed up in Gladiator, having lost 40 pounds for the role, but people were even more shocked when they saw him in the 2020 thriller Unhinged. He gained so much weight that you could barely tell it was Russell. I wouldn't say it was in vain, but the movie didn't do very well, and to be fair, it got pretty average ratings. As of 2023, Russell has a few different movies in the works, including Gladiator 2, so it'll be interesting to see if he returns to being the Russell we all remember when those films hit the big screen. Number 19. Shelley Duvall. Shelley Duvall might not be a household name, but she had the potential to be one. She was known for her roles in many famous movies like The Shining, Roxanne, and Casper Meets Wendy. She also won many awards before stepping away from acting in 2002, when she was just over 30 years old. After 2002, we basically heard nothing more about Shelley. It was like she had fallen off the face of the earth. Although she had the potential to remain a shining star in the world of film and cinematography for decades, she was so far from the spotlight after she retired that even journalists had a hard time finding her. And given how relentless the average journalist can be, they would have turned over every stone to find her. Finally, in 2016, we saw her again, and wow, she was unrecognizable. Shelley appeared on Dr. Phil for an extremely controversial interview where we learned that she was facing severe mental health issues. The episode was aptly titled The Fall of a Hollywood Star into Mental Illness, and it shed light on some troubling information about Shelley Duvall. Shelley spoke openly with Phil McGraw about her paranoid thoughts, including how she believed she had a buzzing disc inside her. She also said that Robin Williams, who we know passed away in 2014, was alive as a shapeshifter. Shelley told Phil that she was sick and needed help, and that's exactly what Phil provided her. He claimed he would make sure she had the best specialists to treat her, but then he said that Shelley left the treatment center after 3 days and refused to take medication or sign any documents. But in fact, that won't be the last we see or hear from Shelley. It's believed that after 20 years away from acting, she'll appear in an independent thriller and horror film called Forest Hills. Tobey Maguire, recognized from Spider-Man 2002 to 2007, has aged well. He started in supporting roles, first appearing in the 1989 movie The Wizard. Sure, we all know it's him, especially since we first met him in the Spider-Man trilogy from 2002 to 2007. But age seems to have treated him pretty well, so you might recognize him, but you will probably be surprised when you see him in one of his later films. Tobey began his acting career in supporting roles, with his first appearance being in the 1989 film The Wizard. In the mid-90s, Tobey was doing what a lot of young actors did and enjoying the party lifestyle. This did him no favors, and his problems with alcohol led him to ask the film's director Empire Records to release him from his role. After he was no longer acting in that film, he sought help from AA for his drinking problem and has been sober ever since. While he had minor roles in many films throughout the 1990s, such as Wonder Boys and Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, it was the early 2000s that really changed him. He was cast as Spider-Man in the hit movie Spider-Man, and he continued as Spider-Man in Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3. Number 17, Johnny Depp. You really can't blame Johnny Depp for looking different from the actor we remember in movies like Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald, and Edward Scissorhands. He's been through a lot in the past few months and years. I mean, who hasn't followed the court proceedings between him and Amber? Stress can take its toll. Let's compare the young Johnny with the much older, wiser, more experienced, and weathered Johnny we see today. Johnny Depp was born John Christopher Depp II in Owensboro, Kentucky. He was the youngest of 4 siblings and moved around a lot because of his dad's job as a civil engineer. At 7 years old, his family moved to Florida, where he grew up. For a long time, it was believed that Johnny had Tourette's syndrome because he was described as a rare and withdrawn type who often made strange sounds. At 12 years old, he started smoking and soon began playing in bands with the guitar his mom had given him. Johnny was so passionate about music that he dropped out of school at 16. It wasn't until 1983, after playing in several bands, that his ex-partner, whom he married, Lori Allison, helped him realize that he didn't have a promising music career. She introduced her to Nicolas Cage, who encouraged her to pursue acting. And that's exactly what he did. He appeared in A Nightmare on Elm Street, followed by Private Resort, and took the chance to let his quirky personality shine by playing the lead role in Edward Scissorhands. The rest is history. Johnny has come a long way since his youth. Number 16, Haley Joel Osment. We all remember Haley Joel Osment's role in The Sixth Sense. While he had already appeared in other well-known movies, like the feature film Forrest Gump as Forrest's son, The Sixth Sense was definitely the movie that most people remember him for, especially that famous line, "I see dead people." But most of us didn't keep up with Haley's career, so it's hard to believe he's the same person. When you see how he looks now, it seems like we think child stars will always be kids. Spoiler alert, it's not like that. Haley was almost unrecognizable in any role he played in his adult years, like Gabe in Waking Life and Warren in The Sitter. To be fair, a lot of our surprise at Haley's appearance has to do with how private he keeps his personal life. We don't hear much about what he does when he's not on your TV screen, except for a car accident in 2006 and finding out that he was living in New York City in 2007. Number 15, Molly Ringwald. It's not very often that we can follow someone's life from the start of their stardom to today. Actors come and go, but Molly Ringwald doesn't fit that mold. We've been able to talk about how unrecognizable she is today because we saw her at the beginning of her career, and we can look back at her career as an actress and see how far she's come. Molly Ringwald was easily one of the most famous teen stars of the 1980s. She played some pretty notable roles in Pretty in Pink, 16 Candles, and The Breakfast Club before becoming known as a member of the Brat Pack. The Brat Pack describes the young actors who frequently work together. It's been decades since her teenage acting years, and Molly is still going strong. While she once played the role of a teenage actress, now she's a mom to a teenager. It's amazing how quickly time flies. In more recent years, you may have seen Molly starring in The Secret Life of the American Teenager and Riverdale. If you hadn't followed her early performances, you wouldn't have any idea who she is. However, if you're a jazz fan, you might have the album she released in 2013 called Except Sometimes Fun. Molly was a singer long before she became an actress, and she had been acting with her dad, Van DYD, since she was 3 years old. These days, she's not just an actress and singer, but she's also written books and started a family. Seeing her in The Breakfast Club, It's surprising to think that so much has happened in what seems like such a short amount of time. Number 14, Justin Bateman. Some actors are unrecognizable because they have undergone so much cosmetic surgery. They want to stay looking young forever, but some might say that Justin Bateman is unrecognizable from his youth because he hasn't had any cosmetic surgery. Justine is a big advocate for natural beauty and is absolutely gorgeous. Usant is an American actress, director, and producer known for her roles in Family Ties, California Cat-Eye, Desperate Housewives, and Satisfaction. Her acting career started in her teenage years when she starred in Family Ties and then went on to star in Men Behaving Badly before landing recurring roles in Men and Trees, Desperate Housewives, and Still Standing. If you haven't followed Justine throughout her acting career, it's natural to be surprised by her current appearance. A lot of time passed between her 176 episodes on Family Ties in the 1980s and her one appearance on Modern Family as Angela. Number 13, Val Kilmer. Unfortunately, the health of American actor Val Kilmer might be why people are surprised by the differences between who he is now and who he was when he starred in famous movies like Top Secret, Top Gun, and The Snowman. Since 2015, Bald has been battling throat cancer, which has forced him to undergo surgery on his trachea, resulting in damage to his vocal cords. After that surgery, Bald had a hard time speaking. He has also gone through chemotherapy and had 2 tracheotomies. Those curious about Bald's experiences probably would have read his 2020 memoir titled In Your Memoir. A 2021 documentary called Ball also documented her health issues. Interestingly, Ball is known for being difficult to work with. Film director John Frankenheimer said he didn't like Ball or his work ethic and that he never wanted to work with him again. Richard Stanley, who briefly directed Ball in The Island of Dr. Moreau, also said that Ball would show up and stir up a discussion. Number 12, Renee Zellweger. Renee Zellweger's changing appearance has led to speculation about plastic surgery. She looks different from her Empire Records and Bridget Jones days. In fact, people have wondered if she's had plastic surgery. She seems like a completely different person than when she first appeared in the cult classic film Empire Records and then in Bridget Jones in 2019. After appearing on the red carpet for a movie premiered in London, people were saying she looked well-rested and fresh-faced. Get up close to the photos and you can't spot a single wrinkle, even though she's in the age range where wrinkles are pretty common. Some people speculated that she must have gotten help from a dermatologist. When Renee was asked about the comments people had made about her different appearance, she said she was glad people were saying she looked different. She mentioned that she was living a different, happier, and fuller life, and she thought that showed. She also talked about the 6-year break she took from acting to focus on her health and well-being, but that didn't stop the speculation. She said she was living a different, happier, and fuller life, and she thought that showed. She also spoke about the 6-year break she took from acting to focus on her health and well-being, but that didn't stop the speculation. People insisted that Renee had surgery around her eyes because they looked quite different. Renee wrote an open letter in the Huffington Post saying it's nobody's business, but she didn't alter her face or have eye surgery. But Renee said it's no secret that a woman's worth is measured by her appearance. I mean, she's not wrong. The public judges older women in Hollywood for looking older and for trying to look younger. There's no way to win here. Number 11, Meg Ryan. American actress Meg Ryan has been in the spotlight for a long time. She made her acting debut in the early 80s with her role in Rich and Famous before appearing in Top Gun, When Harry Met Sally, Sleepless in Seattle, and many other classics. It seems like we forget that Meg is already 60 years old, and we still see her as the fresh-faced, young actress. That's probably why a lot of people were surprised when they saw her for the first time in a long while, being photographed with Michael J. Fox for his new documentary that details his battle with Parkinson's disease. At that time, Meg Ryan had been out of the spotlight for quite a while and was described as unrecognizable. Some people speculated that Meg had plastic surgery 2000, but Meg said she doesn't pay much attention to trolls. Meg said there is a lot of hate in the world and it is easy to judge. Even though she rarely makes public appearances these days, she didn't want to miss Michael's big moment. To be fair, you can understand why Meg chose to step away from the spotlight. There were a lot of rumors about extramarital affairs involving actor Russell Crowe. This took a big hit on her reputation, even though there was more to the story than what was shown in the media. We really haven't seen much of Meg since 2009, as she chose to direct movies in recent years instead of appearing in them. Number 10. Priscilla Presley. Priscilla Presley is over 70 years old. She's supposed to look old, but she doesn't. There's still a youthful glow, though she's had some cosmetic procedures. When you compare photos of her from her early years to her current appearance, there's still a youthful glow, but it's definitely obvious that she's had some cosmetic procedures. Fans were surprised when she appeared on a UK morning show at 72 years old. One person tweeted, "Priscilla Presley, what happened to aging gracefully?" While another person asked, "What has Priscilla Presley done to her face?" It looks like she has a scary mask on. But unlike other actors, who typically deny any cosmetic procedures, Priscilla has been reasonably open and honest. She has previously talked about failed cosmetic procedures where, unknowingly, they injected low-quality industrial silicone into her face, not much different from what mechanics use to grease car parts. An aesthetic surgeon was asked for his opinion on her appearance and said that her cheeks are a bit enlarged and her mouth is a little pulled. He said she had a good start, but a bad ending. He also noticed that her eyebrows are much less defined than before and that her eyes look reasonable. He thought that the middle part of her face around her cheeks, nose, and mouth made her look a bit harsh. 1. A little plastic. Number 9. Jaleel White. The only reason you'll be surprised when you see Jaleel White today is that he's no longer the adorable, funny, and quirky Steve Urkel. He's so well known for his role in the sitcom Family Matters that you just can't picture him in any other role. He played that character for so long that you probably wouldn't even recognize him in later movies and TV shows. However, since then, Jaleel has appeared in many well-known movies and TV shows, like The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in 1995 as Derek, as well as Coming to America as Ray Savage and The Preacher's Son as James. He doesn't limit himself to one type of role in any show or movie. Instead, he likes to flex his creative muscles and try a little bit of everything. For example, Jaleel appeared in season 14 of Dancing with the Stars and in a Zon commercial in 2015. If you're in the mischievous green scene, you might also know him for his variety of Purple Urkel products that will hit California dispensaries in 2021. Number 8. Ethan Suplee. You could run into Ethan Suplee on the street and not even recognize him as the famous actor from The Wolf of Wall Street, My Name is Earl, and Boy Meets World. Ethan is almost unrecognizable because he has lost an incredible 200 pounds. Remember Ethan from My Name is Earl when he played the role of Randy Hickey for 96 episodes. He was a bit heavier when the show wrapped up in 2009, but just 2 years later, he was basically a new man. Ethan said that his fit figure was thanks to road biking and cycling. So if you have a bike collecting dust in your garage, now's the time to pull it out. At one point, Ethan got down to just 9% body fat before realizing that his weight had given him acting opportunities. So he put on a bit of weight to help his career as an actor. If you're eager to see what he looks like now, you can catch him in more recent TV shows like Good Girls in 2020 and Santa Clarita Diet in 2019. Number 7. Taylor Momsen. Do you remember Cindy Lou from How the Grinch Stole Christmas? She was played by Taylor Momsen, a child actress who appeared in popular movies like Spy Kids, The Island of Lost Dreams. Later in her teenage years, she was also cast as Jenny Humphrey in Gossip Girl, but that was about it. What happened to Taylor Momsen? Well, you won't see her in any new movies or TV shows, that's for sure. You're more likely to see her behind the mic at a rock concert, if you see her at all. Taylor became the center of attention before she even had the chance to accept it. Her parents had signed her up for modeling opportunities when she was 2 years old. Taylor said no 2-year-old wants to work, but she couldn't exactly say no. Taylor said she spent her childhood in and out of school and constantly working, so she had no chance to have a real life. She dropped out of high school early to film Gossip Girl, but she was ready to enjoy more freedom and independence to plan her life the way she wanted to live it, and how she wanted to live it didn't involve acting. Instead, Taylor wanted to be a musician, so she became the lead singer of the rock band The Pretty Reckless and enjoyed a lot of successful albums. They released a new album in 2021, and even though a reboot of Gossip Girl was in the works, Taylor said she had no intention of being a part of it. Instead, Taylor wanted to be a musician, so she became the lead singer of the rock band The Pretty Reckless and enjoyed a lot of successful albums. They released a new album in 2021, and even though a reboot of Gossip Girl was in the works, Taylor said she had no intention of being a part of it. Number 6. Halle Berry. The American actress Halle Berry has this unique ability to always look like a fresh, never-before-seen actress, where she plays a bit with makeup, a new persona, and bam! You have someone on the TV that you've never seen before. We first saw Halle Berry when she was a teenager. She was a finalist in a national beauty pageant and went on to work as a model. In the late 1980s, he began acting on television. If you're a fan of Spike Lee's films, you might remember Halle from the 1991 film Jungle Fever, but it wasn't until her role in Boomerang with Eddie Murphy in 1992 that she really gained attention. From that point on, she became such a talented and recognized actress that she became the first African-American woman to be nominated for an Oscar for Best Actress, and later won Emmy and Golden Globe Awards. Now, we all know that we don't always keep the same look and figure we had in our early years, but Halle Berry is an exception to that rule. The woman, who is now over 50, said she's in the best shape of her life, and it's all thanks to her commitment to health and fitness. Her trainer, Peter Lee, said, "Usand is one of those special people who will get the job done, even if she's only sleeping 1 or 2 hours." Let's be real, Halle Berry is a total beauty. Number 5. Khloe Kardashian. Even if you don't have a high opinion of the Kardashian family, you can't deny how much Khloe Kardashian has changed over the years. If we compare photos of Khloe from the early 2000s to now, she doesn't even look like the same person. Khloe was constantly compared to her older sisters and had to endure a lot of horrible body shaming. But the evolution of her body over the years has basically stopped that, not that she should ever have been subjected to that in the first place. Khloe said her weight has been a long battle. When her parents divorced in 1991, she said that she and her brother Rob were given food to keep them company, and all they did was eat junk. Later, she talked about how tough it was to be in the spotlight trying to keep up with the Kardashians, and how she was constantly compared to her older sisters, especially since she didn't look like them. In 2009, Khloe was basically transformed. She had used the Quick Dream weight loss program and looked much healthier. However, Khloe has always been honest with her fans about her yo-yo dieting, and she said that if she can make other people feel good about the ups and downs of their weight loss journeys, then that's what matters. She wants to be that person. Number 3. Aubrey O'Day. Wow, Aubrey O'Day, the singer from Donny Kane, looks really different from how she used to. Aubrey's Instagram shocked fans in 2019. She looked different. However, when Aubrey uploaded photos to Instagram in 2019, her fans were shocked by the change. She didn't even look like the same person. Although some people speculated that Aubrey had undergone cosmetic surgery, it could all just be due to makeup and maybe some editing. She seemed to have a lot of highlighter and contour around her nose, and her eye makeup was particularly dramatic. Her lips also looked fuller, so you'd probably be right to assume she had some filler work done. She seemed to have a lot of highlighter and contour around her nose, and her eye makeup was particularly dramatic. Her lips also looked fuller, so you'd probably be right to assume she had some filler work done. Aubrey faced a lot of criticism over those photos, but she never came out and said how she made those changes. However, In Touch Weekly speculated that she had gotten lip fillers, a nose job, lip injections, and possibly breast implants. We may never know unless she comes out and says it. Number 2, Amanda Bynes. Do you remember Amanda Bynes from The Amanda Show and What a Girl Wants? It was a huge success, so it was a big shock when she announced she was stepping away from acting in 2010. But that wasn't the last time we heard from her. The media rushed to keep up with Amanda's story, reporting on possible legal issues and rumors about her being placed under conservatorship. Of course, a lot of what we read in the news is just speculation, but Amanda appeared in some interviews and said that her self-esteem had hit rock bottom. She was convinced she needed to stop acting after seeing herself on TV, and her mental health continued to decline in the following years. In 2012, she was arrested by Dewey and also charged with 2 hit-and-run accidents. It doesn't seem like things have improved much for Amanda in recent years. Number 1, Macaulay Culkin. No matter how old you are, we all know who Macaulay Culkin is. He was easily one of the most successful child actors of all time for his role in Home Alone. But it hasn't all been easy for Macaulay. He went from being one of the most successful child actors to being known for having one of the biggest falls from grace. He abused substances, had legal battles, and was also charged with possession in 2004. And even though up until that point the rumors were just rumors, you definitely would have believed them if you saw pictures of him. He looked gaunt, fragile, and really unhealthy when he was spotted holding an energy drink in 2012. Fortunately, he has improved his behaviors since then. He reprised his role as Kevin McAllister in Home Alone, playing an adult version of the character for a Google ad, and he also founded the rock band Pizza Underground. Macaulay has also recently starred in independent films. Since then, Macaulay has had his first child with Brenda Song, whom they named Dakota in honor of his sister, who tragically passed away after being hit by a car in 2008. While it's true that some of these celebrities still have a trace of their old selves, it's impossible to ignore the monumental transformations that many of them have gone through. The passage of time alone has played a big role in reshaping their appearance. Can you think of any other celebrity who has gone through such dramatic changes?